Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're gonna do another honest review of a book that I just recently read. This book is monumental in the sense that it is the first book that I picked up for myself that is outside of the realm of that fantasy romance category. I just recently did a video of my favorite books of 2024, and you'll notice a theme that they're all fantasy romance in some capacity. You know, it's a scale, right? And not some of them are a lot less romance and a little bit more fantasy, or a little bit more like heist books, but most of the books that I read last year had some element of fantasy and some element of romance in them. So this book was monumental because it is a rom-com and it's contemporary, and I just thought it would be a fun way to branch into that. But I'm going to be reviewing this book. It's The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren. This I picked up when I was doing some Christmas shopping for my family. I saw it, and I'm going to be real. The cover, it's nothing super crazy, but it caught my attention exactly as it's supposed to. And I read the little blurb, and I decided why not. So picked it up from my local bookshop, and it was a lot of fun. So this is my honest review of The Unhoneymooners. Just to start off, so just a little bit of background for this. So you have a wedding is the first scene of the book, and you have this twin sister Amy and her fiance Dane are getting married, but the story is following this Amy's twin sister Olive and then Dane's older brother Ethan. So Olive and Ethan are the main characters of this book. And the way it starts out, Olive has special dietary needs. Ethan hates buffets. And so these two characters at the wedding have a special grilled chicken, whatever. They have a special meal, and everyone in the wedding party comes down with a nasty stomach bug. Like, so much, it's debilitating, and it's within like the reception that everyone starts puking. It's disgusting. So literally these are the only two people that are unaffected, and Amy, the sister getting married, tells Olive, she's like, you better take my honeymoon. I worked hard for that. She won it in a giveaway. She's like, I worked hard to win that, and I don't want it to go to waste. It's only good for those days, and it's only good under my name, and you can pass for me, so you have to take it because I can't go, right? So Olive is gonna go. Dane says the same thing to his older brother Ethan, and so these two people decide to go on this honeymoon as Amy and Dane when it's actually Olive and Ethan. The kicker is that Olive and Ethan hate each other, and they have for a couple years. It's like an open disdain. They cannot get along. They always argue. They always bicker. And so you've got that dynamic, and then just to top it off, because Amy won the giveaway, she won this honeymoon for free, essentially. It has to be these two people, and if they catch any wind of anything suspicious going on, they get sent home and they have to pay for the whole thing. So not only do Olive and Ethan have to go on this honeymoon together, they have to pretend to be married, and they have to actually try to get along. They have to share the honeymoon suite, yada, yada, yada. Kind of that forced proximity, enemies to lovers type deal. It's a rom-com, so we all know where this is going, right? But that is the premise of the story. And so it's a lot of fun. Things that I really liked about this book, the banter is top notch. I think I stand with a lot of people. I think especially recently, there's been kind of a leaning away from these like super spice heavy books, and it's that yearning. Everyone wants the yearning aspect now more, which I've always loved, and I'm so glad that we've like found a word and found a way to describe it, because this, I mean, it's only a one book thing. It's a standalone, so it's not this crazy amount of yearning that you see, but the banter is phenomenal. And I feel like the author did such a good job of transitioning from that I hate you banter into I actually think you're kind of fun banter, into that like I genuinely enjoy your company, into I really like you and I'm thinking about you in that kind of a way banter. Like, it transitions very well. One of the things that they do in the book, the main characters will intentionally mess up their names. At first, Olive hates it because he keeps calling her Olivia, and she's like, my name isn't Olivia, it's Olive, dang it, you know? They like will slowly slip it up, and they'll be talking just completely seriously, and he'll be like, what do you think, Oliver? And she'll be like, I don't know, Eric, what do you, like, it's just the cutest little banter. So who doesn't love good banter, right? Another thing that I really liked about this story, personally, I love a good rom-com. It felt very much like I was watching a cozy rom-com like on TV, like a TV series, or like, I think one of my favorite genre of movies is that early 2000s, or like late 2000s, early 2010s rom-com. It's like, it's its whole genre, and I love movies that came from there, like The Proposal, How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, that kind of a vibe. And this book felt exactly like that. Like, I felt like I was in that world. That was the headspace I was in when I was reading this, and I was personally very happy to be there. It was a lot of fun. I also think that, you know, within this fun little package of a rom-com in a book, the author did a really good job of exploring some good themes within a fun story. I think the best stories will also make you think about some other things as well, regardless of the type of story that they're telling. So this particular story, it explores the themes of trust within a relationship. It explores the themes of personal growth and maybe some self-reflection and reevaluating scenarios that you thought you understood in the past. It also explores the theme of integrity and like what to do when you're in a tough spot, how certain things are handled. For example, with that one, like Olive, they happen to run into her a boss that literally just hired her, and like the big values of this company are integrity, trust, honesty, things like that. But she runs into him on this honeymoon where she's pretending to be her sister, and they're kind of lying to get this thing, and so she just panics and says that Ethan is her husband and that they are on their honeymoon. And you kind of explore how that decision to lie to her boss, you know, how she feels about it, what she ends up doing. She ends up kind of coming clean to him, and you see the repercussions of that. And I like that they kind of explore, it felt like a very realistic, natural way to go about that. Like, not everything turned out how, you know, like picture perfect happy. She didn't end up in that position. But anyways, I personally really liked that it explored some of those themes. You were able to kind of learn from Olive's story about other things other than just, oh, this is so fun and she found this boy and they're happy and they're in love. The end, right? Personally, I really liked that. Now, on to the things that I didn't really like. And again, these are just my opinions. I'm happy to talk about them down below in the comments, but this is just the things that I didn't really love. To me, the ending was really messy. Like, they felt like such a perfect couple, and then like 75% of the way through, there's some stuff that happens with the couple. And honestly, the hard part is that like, if it was me in this situation, basically Ethan doesn't believe Olive when she's saying that that Ethan's brother is not a great guy, right? And there is terrible communication between the two. Ethan is just immediately dismissive, and honestly, he's kind of gaslighting her in that moment. You're crazy, you're interpreting the situation wrong, there's no way that's possible, and he literally breaks up with her over it. And so understandably, Olive is not doing super great with that. My problem is that he kind of comes and does this big grand gesture, and it's all okay. And I know that it kind of has to be for the book, but honestly, like, it would take some time to build my trust back up after that, after being so blatantly just disregarded, like having my opinions disregarded like that and having my thoughts disregarded like that. That'd be really hard, right? And so it was really hard to watch. Like, she had just gone through all this personal growth, she had just gone through this hard thing with Ethan, and like still wasn't talking to him, and then finally he just grand gestures and it's all fine in the end. It felt like there needed to be a little bit more work on building that trust back up, and there was no mention of that. So that kind of took me out of the story a little bit. Another thing that took me out of the story was just like, they run into not one but two prevalent people in their real life, which has to push the story along, right? Like, that's one of the ways that they do it. And I understand it's a story, but it was really hard for me to be like, there's no way that this would really happen. And even if it did happen, you can avoid each other. Like, it's a big island, it's a big resort. I feel like they could very easily avoid each other. So that kind of took me out of the story a little bit. I'm only gonna hate on that a little, like just a tiny amount, because I understand it's a story, we have to push the plot along, and that's how we chose to do it. It just kind of didn't sink super great for me. The last thing that was kind of hard for me that I didn't love was the bad guy, Dane. Oh no, okay. The bad guy was a little one-dimensional. Like, there was no redeeming qualities. I feel like a well-written bad guy in a story is a little bit gray, right? Like, there are some things that we can like understand and like try to get behind, and you kind of feel for them a little bit, but no, this guy's just like bad. And I guess now that I'm saying that, there are absolute idiots out there, and so I guess it's not out of the realm of the possibility, but it was really hard for me to be like, man, I have no reason to feel for this guy at all. Like, there's nothing making this more interesting. It's just like, no, he's dumb. I hate him. We don't like him. I will say though, when he gets what's coming for him, it's so satisfying because you've been rude. You're like, I hate this guy. And so when he finally gets what is coming for him, it is really satisfying. So those are the things I didn't like about the Unhoneymooners. Kind of just to finish things off, my rating for this book, I'm going to go ahead and give it 3.5 out of 5, 3.5 stars. It was very entertaining, very fun. There were some issues for me, but it was a good story and a great first book to kind of get me out of that fantasy romance genre. Yeah, that's what I have to say about the Unhoneymooners. If you've read this book before, please share your thoughts down below. If you haven't read this book, I'm so sorry because I just spoiled a lot of things about it. I will mark that this is a spoiler. This has spoilers in it, but if you haven't read it, I still think it's a lot of fun to read. So please pick it up. I think it's on Kindle Unlimited. You can also probably find it at some bookshop somewhere. But yeah, tell me your thoughts below. And if there's any type of videos that you want to see in the future, any type of things that you want to see from me, or any comments that you have, right there. Any interaction with this video helps the algorithm a lot to know that these videos are worth making. So liking, commenting, following, turning on your notifications, all those sorts of things. But I will see you next time. Thanks so much.